that nature. That's a little bit of a long shot. That, to your point, Matt, about Jaden Daniels, I think Jackson Dart could have that kind of trajectory.
That's an interesting point to make there about, so like Dillon Gabriel is the front runner, as you mentioned, but Gabriel's,
sure.
He's first-year player at Oregon. It's not to take away from how good he might be or the fact that Oregon may be on the short list of national championship contenders. But you look at the quarterbacks who've won Heismans in the last couple of years. Jaden Daniels, second year as a starter at LSU. Caleb Williams, second year as a starter at USC. Same with Bryce Young at Alabama. Now, I know it's the third year for
Joe Burrow. Remember
Joe Burrow? That's exactly
Joe Burrow had kind of an up and down first year, and then second year it was like dynamite, just blew up.
So did Daniels at times too. I mean, that's why I even look like it. I mean, maybe this is a little formulaic to say it, but Carson Beck, second-year starter, sure. Georgia. I mean,
is it as simple as if one of those guys, Quinn Ewers in Texas or Jackson Dart in Ole Miss, and if they run the table, go 11-1 or 12-0, is it that simple that that's the guy that's winning the Heisman?
Yeah, and I would put Carson Beck in that mix too. I mean, I think if especially in Phil brought up Dillon Gabriel at Oregon as well. I think that's another one, right? And I think we get so wrapped up in the story of the Heisman. Now, some years guys are just so good statistically, like Jaden Daniels, you give it to them. But I think we get wrapped up in the story, right? So, listen, I think Oregon is, frankly, every bit as good as Ohio. On paper, as good as anybody in that league, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, whatever. But I just bring it up because if Oregon does go into the Big Ten and it's like, they won the Big Ten in year one. Who could have seen this coming? I mean, they're preseason like top 14, but that's how it's going to be perceived. And so, yeah, I think the story helps, but to your point, Matt, dominance and excellence helps as well. And so whether it is a Quinn Ewers, whether it is a Gabriel, a Carson Beck, I mean, if by the end of the year there's one team that's clearly better than the others, at least going into the playoff, we know it's a regular season award, then yeah, I do think very much that it's the possibility that somebody could run away with it. And by the way, like I would, Carson Beck is one that comes to mind. Like, I think we just think of Georgia as this defense-dominant team. Statistically, they were better than Ole Miss on offense last year. They were better than Texas on offense last year. I mean, if it wasn't, again, for Jaden Daniels putting up essentially historic numbers at LSU, Georgia would have had the top offense in all of college football. So, in all of the SEC. So I still think, to the original question that Matt posed, I think that Quinn Ewers, Carson Beck, Dillon Gabriel, those are the smart choices. I was just talking about Jackson Dart a little bit off the radar there.
Well, we've talked quite a bit of even college basketball in the last couple of days. I know you saw this Candid Coaches series that Matt Norlander and Gary Parrish put out on CBS Sports. And, man, I mean, you can't be surprised with the idea that the perception of Arkansas men's basketball NIL is way ahead of everybody else with John Calipari as the head coach. Norlander was on the Morning Rush, our morning show, yesterday, and he posed, I think this is a highly educated guess as to what this roster might have cost.
My speculative number was that Arkansas spent north of $8 million this season to acquire its roster. If you told me, I don't think it hit 10, but I would say between 8 and 9.5 would be my speculative guess on that.
We'd heard the number $6 million, but I think that was just kind of like you never know when things can grow and multiply, and it sounds like maybe they did. That's a high dollar figure, Aaron, and I'm not saying that with any judgment whatsoever, but I think it's a lot more than Muss's players are getting paid.
Well, a couple things on that. One, I talked about this on my show today, and it's funny. I don't know if all the ducks were in a row for this past cycle in terms of the 2024-2025 rosters. And I think whatever Coach Cal needed, he was provided. But what's funny is I referenced on my show that $8 million was about the number that I heard that Coach Cal was going to have going into kind of the 25-26 season as he starts to build out that roster. Obviously, right now, the only name that we know is Darius Acuff, the five-star who committed. But I was told it was about that $8 million range. And what I said on my show today, and it's true, is that, I've talked to a lot of coaches this past offseason, and I think going into going into this past offseason, the number that I think most schools felt like, okay, if we have this number, we're in good shape nationally, was between 3 and 4. Now, admittedly, those numbers got bumped up pretty quickly, and I talked to multiple staff that were in that range that felt like we felt like we were pretty good, and we learned pretty quickly that maybe we needed a little bit more. But I bring it up because if that was the number a year ago, and I don't want to say forget, but if that was the number a year ago, and even if Cal is working with that next year, then to me what that speaks to is, basically that basically he is operating at the highest levels of kind of that NIL tax bracket, if you will. So, like I said, I think my guess is that, or my belief is that maybe everything wasn't totally lined up for when they got to Arkansas, because it happened obviously so fast. We know how it went down. But I do agree with Norlander. If it wasn't at the top of 2024, 2025, I don't think there's going to be anybody going into this coming off season, this coming portal cycle that is in better position than Arkansas.
Last year, it seemed like Hunter Dickinson was the big name, and then you had Dalton Knecht transferred in, wins Player of the Year. Grant Nelson at Alabama. Who are some of the transfers, Aaron, that transferred in that are going to make an impact? Or who was the best transfer, the number one transfer available in the portal?
Well, I think Nelly Davis was right in the short conversation. As far as money is concerned, it was interesting because it did feel like there were a couple guys that waited until later in the process and were able to really use the simple supply and demand of, hey, it's early May, it's mid-May, it's late May. A lot of the best names are off the board. You need to make moves. But the one that I not only I heard before it happened, but Coleman Hawkins, who was at Illinois, he was in the NBA draft, and he withdrew from the NBA draft at the last minute. And I was basically told even before he withdrew, he said, hey, we're looking for that $2 million price tag range, whatever. And listen, it's not my money to spend, whatever. But he is an upper-level guy. He was an all Big Ten guy. He was actually a little bit banged up last year, but an all Big Ten kind of guy. And listen, veteran guy. He's going to be a fifth-year guy next year. I think he probably would have been drafted if he stayed in the draft. So he was the one that I think demanded probably the most money this past cycle. But in terms of impact players, I think Arkansas got their own fair share. Nelly Davis, I think, is at the top of that list. But it's no secret that I'm a big believer. If DJ Wagner can stay healthy, he'll be really good. I think a lot of people are sleeping on how good a Duke Diero can be. So Arkansas, and maybe Norlander's right, maybe a lot of money was spent this last offseason because I really like a lot of the guys that they were able to add to this roster, especially the ones obviously we're talking about via the portal.
Aaron, it's good to get you back, and we appreciate you making some time for us. And happy football season, man. We get it through the end of the year.
We get it, and then Saturdays with football through January. I'll take it every single day, every single week, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Aaron.
Aaron Torres from the Aaron Torres Sports Podcast, Aaron Torres Media. We appreciate his time today on Halftime. We'll open up the hotline here, 877-377-6963.
Next there. Okay. Next week, you got to remind me to ask him what UConn's number is, because the chart I looked at, I can't believe it slipped my mind, but UConn wasn't in the top 20. And to me, it doesn't sound right if UConn's not even in the top 20, the back-to-back national champions.
Yeah, no kidding. But I mean, it does lead you.
Are they spending $3 million and winning the national title? I mean, because it's I don't know. It just seems weird.
We'll come right back with more Halftime after this break.
How about Jones? Don't be so cool, dude.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
What makes Crabtree RV Center different? First, we are a fourth-generation family-owned business taking pride in making your family's dreams come true. No corporate mentality here. Second, we've been in business for 74 years, founded in 1950 here in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas area. We are not going anywhere. What does that mean for our customers? A family feel with no corporate hidden fees. The reassurance that we will be here for generations to come, and knowledgeable salespeople who want to pick the right RV for your family to make lifetime memories in. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
When your job demands more than just hard work, trust Timberland Pro, the brand that defines superior comfort, performance, and durability. Built on a legacy of craftsmanship, Timberland Pro provides boots and apparel that stand up to the toughest challenges. Our products are as resilient as the skilled men and women who wear them. From the workshop to the job site, Timberland Pro is there with you every step of the way, blending innovation with time-tested quality. Discover why professionals choose Timberland Pro. Always do, never done. Visit timberlandpro.com or your local Timberland Pro dealer.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Summer is here and adventure is calling. Visit Southern Tire Mart for a new set of Yokohama tires to get your vehicle ready for summer travels. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let Southern Tire Mart ensure your vehicle is ready for the open road. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey and Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey and Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit KevinHickeyLaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey and Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
You never know what you will walk up on or find over the hill at the Tackle Box. For almost 50 years, the Tackle Box has been your home for hunting and fishing supplies and some of the best outdoor stories. Whether guns, ammo, fishing supplies, or home decor, come back and see them again. They even buy your old fishing tackle or guns. The Tackle Box, your sports store for hunting, fishing, firearms, and more. 3010 Street, Fort Smith, 646-3193.
The adventure starts at the Tackle Box for sportsmen just like you.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh-made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
Did you know that almost 80% of all advertising is spent on digital? This is Dale Daniels, Digital Sales Manager for ESPN Arkansas, and due to the growth in digital advertising, we have the opportunity for the right person to join our team. Digital and radio advertising go hand in hand, and we're looking for someone to help businesses grow with this powerful combination. If you have experience in broadcast and digital marketing or business development, we want to hear from you. Email your resume to sales@hitthatline.com. Pearson Broadcasting is an equal opportunity employer.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Well, this one, sometimes you forget that the transfer portal remains open for players who are graduates. You can get into that portal anytime you want if you are a graduate student. Ole Miss added another linebacker. through the portal Wednesday. It was reported by On3 on Wednesday, and then Ole Miss, the SI account that covers Ole Miss football, also confirmed it. So they added Rodney Groce Jr. Groce is spelled Groce. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name properly, but man, that feels like a little bit late adding a player here. But they've bolstered their linebacker position with somebody. He only made 12 tackles at UTSA last year, but was pretty solid as a community college, a junior college linebacker the year before at East Mississippi. But get a load of the teams he's played for now in his career, Matt. This was before ever lacing up for Ole Miss. Started his career. Well, let's go backwards. That'll be a little better. So he's at Ole Miss now. This is home state. Last season, Texas San Antonio. Played for Jeff Traylor. The year before, East Mississippi Community College. The year before that, Arizona State. Started his career 2020 season at Mississippi State. So this has got to be one of the rare guys who will have experience playing for on both sides of the Egg Bowl. Seems like an interesting place to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's a depth. It seems like it's just a position of need, just for depth, whether it be special teams. He's a journeyman. I mean, it's I don't expect too much out of him. Maybe Ole Miss didn't hit on everybody. One of these teams in the top 10, Phil, it's going to be a dumpster fire. One of these teams is going to it's going to be a leaky ship.
You can count on this,
right? It's just going to happen, and we don't know who it's going to be, but it could be. Mississippi, something happens, they lose early. You'll see it with the Missouri. I don't know if Missouri might not have the talent, but they lose a couple early and they let go of the rope, and you kind of saw it last year with LSU. You saw it last year with USC. Those are two teams last year that totally underperformed and had national championship aspirations. One of these teams, we don't know if it's going to be Ole Miss or not. Maybe they didn't hit as good as we thought in the transfer portal.
Or they're hiding an injury to somebody, and we just don't know about it yet. But, I mean, this is where Paul transferred to, and they've got 3 or 4 other linebackers that are high on the depth chart, but here's another guy that's got experience and a little bit of experience in the SEC. It just feels late, doesn't it? I mean, this kind of feels like NFL, like signing a free agent just before the season starts. And it's a difficult thing to plug and play at any position, I think, in football, unless you've been around the sport for a long, long time. So, and I think you're right. Who knows what kind of an impact he makes. It's just a little jarring to see a free agent signing, transfer portal pickup here a week before the season starts for Ole Miss. 877-377-6963 to get with this here on Halftime today. One of the big conversations we had yesterday was the idea of profanity coming from coaches, or really, and then it turned into just what clubhouses and locker rooms are like. And then, I haven't watched Hard Knocks this year with the Chicago Bears. I don't have the HBO subscription, and I guess that's the one I've chosen to not buy. And the person that I had the password doesn't have the account any longer. So it's like the one service that I don't have any longer that most people do have. But I was reading about this, and it fit kind of right into yesterday's conversation a little bit. So this year's, well, at least the preseason, this is all about the Chicago Bears. Remember, they're going to be doing like an AFC North series once you get into, I think, around mid to late November.
Thanksgiving or something.
And then into December, which will be really interesting. But this year, at least in the preseason on Hard Knocks, those who've been watching have probably picked up on this. There is no cursing on Hard Knocks this year. Now, it's not that the players and the coaches and whomever's, on camera might be cursing, but all of this is being edited out by the folks at HBO because they're doing this, and the quote said, out of respect for the McCaskey family, unquote. So I guess this must be like, I don't know if the ownership of the Bears and the actual owner, the one who's at the top of the pyramid here, is Virginia Hallis McCaskey. That's George Hallis's daughter.
Do you think that's why they saw Caleb Williams' fingernails and that's why they drafted him? Is that so? That's why they knew the quarterback they're drafting, what he puts on his hands, right? So that's makes sense.
Well, remember, I mean, he put some messages on those fingernails last year,
I think they might be the words you're talking about.
Interesting. Well, so you can look past certain things when it comes to drafting who you think is the best quarterback when you have the number 1 overall pick. But either somebody got to the editors and the director and the producers at Hard Knocks, or they just understand that this is not a woman that you want to mess with and drop any F-bombs surrounding her team. So and it's just reading up on them a little bit. It's a very conservative family, and it just must be the kind of thing that, hey, when anybody with ownership comes into the locker room, all right, everybody, now you gotta put on your best face forward. Now you gotta actually watch what you're saying, because you don't want to insult Mrs. McClaskey or Mrs. McCaskey.
Chicago Bears, man, that's such a storied franchise. I would put them, Phil, top 5 as far as just – I know they haven't won a Super Bowl in a while.
There's a mystique.
That's what I mean. They're top 5 as far as if there's a team or an area or somebody you want to go play for. Chicago would be pretty cool. The monsters of the Midway, Soldier Field, Dick Butkus, Mike Singletary, Walter Payton, the '85 Bears. I mean, there's so much that go in. That's just
3 million quarterbacks in the last 40 years,
and that's just a little bit, right? Yeah.
You're right though, and I feel like part of it is also who owns the team. I mean, this is George Halas's daughter. I don't know, that kind of stands out a little bit, right? But it's like I know. Oh, so like Art Rooney was the longtime owner of the Steelers, and his son, Art Rooney II, is the guy who's at the top of that pyramid right now. I don't know if it's any different when he might go into the locker room, or when the chief, Art Rooney himself, went into the locker room. You think you got to watch your mouth if Robert Kraft is around? It's a little bit different when it comes to the owner, depending on what sort of aura they project. I would assume this. Mrs. McCaskey projects an aura that might be, I don't know, you're not going to swear around. Like if you're a member of Illinois Chicago basketball, you're not dropping F-bombs around Sister Jean, right? It's kind of the same idea.
Oh, what's the movie Doubt with Philip Seymour Hoffman and Meryl Streep? It's a great movie. We'll have to put that on the list. But can you imagine her coming down with a ruler and slapping you on the hand if you get there? Oh.
The steel ruler. Miss McCaskey walks into the locker room with a steel ruler. Caleb, give me that hand. No more interceptions. I don't know. Something tells me she might. There would be negative tweets about that. Be careful, right? Yeah. Virginia McCaskey is 101 years old. 101, and is still alive and still involved, I think, with the organization. And look, Chris from Springdale sends in some other facts about her. 11 kids, more than 40 grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and it all stems from football. That's one of the things I do appreciate about that ownership, and it's the same with the ownership, like with the Steelers, with the same sort of idea. Family ownership, and it's football, first and foremost. How'd you make your money? Like Robert Kraft didn't make his money through football. Arthur Blank did not make his money through football. Jerry Jones did not make his money through football. This Art Rooney, well, he made his money initially to buy the Steelers through horse racing, and then bought the Steelers and then made his money. That's how the McCaskey family made their money, through football, first and foremost. Not every ownership is like that. It used to be like that, too. And Ryan just likes the name McCaskey.
It's a Chicago name.
Chicago. That's right. You got to say it the right way. And if you're not from the city of Chicago, you better at least let everybody know that you are from the Chicagoland area.
Chicago. They got the bratwurst, but they got the deep dish pizza. New York, I'm still a New York pizza guy if I was to say what's the best, but Chicago's, they got some good pizza as well.
Tell you what I am with Chicago. Give me that Chicago dog over almost probably any other kind of hot dog.
Bratwurst is kind of the thing, but yeah, man, that is it the all beef sausage dog they do there in Chicago? Yeah.
No, let's just think about this too. Okay, you got your poppy seed bun, you got your all beef hot dog that extends to the edges of the bun. It's not the bun envelops the sausage. It's sort of the other way around. Let me see if I'm going to get all of the ingredients right here. You need your chopped raw onions, your tomato slices, wax peppers, not jalapeno peppers, wax peppers, celery salt, and pickle relish. And mustard.
Spicy mustard, yeah. Yeah, well, if it's a spicy dog, you can go regular mustard, but if it's not a spicy, then you go. But absolutely, you got to go mustard, no ketchup.
You get those jalapeno peppers out of here. This is the only thing in the world that you will actually eat wax peppers. I think those are the peppers that are inside the sauce, like the vinegar sauce, where all you're trying to do is get the vinegar out, leave the peppers in. Those peppers go onto Chicago dogs.
You're doing it. You're making me hungry right now.
We only have 2 hours left. Don't worry about it. 877-377-6963. Back to wrap up our first hour in just a moment.
This is halftime. Do you want to see the Dallas Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas on November 10th? Can you eat a Monster Burger in 150 seconds to qualify for the football trip of a lifetime? It's the 19th annual football trip of a lifetime brought to you by Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and HitThatLine.com. Go to HitThatLine.com for more details and let's secure your seat at the table.
Matching down payments now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson's, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw. Matching down payments up to $2,500. This is the best deal of the summer.
It definitely is, Tommy. I mean, we're doing this on new. We're doing this on pre-owned. Hey, you can purchase a new vehicle right now, get your rebates, get your special APR, and get your down payment matched up to $2,500.
So you're telling me if I have $2,500 in cash, it's now worth $5,000?
Yes, sir. And if you don't have $2,500, let's say you just got $1,000. Hey, that 1,000 now turns into 2. So come down here and see us. You're not going to find a better deal anywhere else. I've been telling everybody our prices will not be beat within the tri-state area. If the thought's even been in the back of your brain that you're looking for a vehicle, this is where you're going to find the best deal at Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford.
The best selection, the best customer service, and matching down payments up to $2,500. Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting.
This video is powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. From the preseason NFL to college kicking off, BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. Think you know your stuff? Try our winner-take-all $300,000 NFL Survivor Pool for the upcoming season. When the game is over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today and use promo code BELIEVE and get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot.
It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill.
So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas.
Swark Liquor. We promise to keep them cold for you.
This
It isn't so. Some people wanna fill the world with silly love songs. What's wrong with that? I'd like to know. 'Cause here I go.
Back into halftime live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Tomorrow's a big day, not just because college football begins. We have the finals for the 19th annual football trip of a lifetime. So the winner tomorrow gets the tickets and the accommodations to see the Cowboys and the Eagles at AT&T Stadium. Kristen Johnston, our producer, who will be C. Berger just for the moment, has been at many of the. How many participants will we have in the finals tomorrow? Do you know a number?
15. Is that a Latrell Sprewell?
Yes, we have 15. Sorry.
15's a good number. That's man, that's quite a competition for tomorrow. Going to be hamburger, meat, cheese,
90 seconds, you think? What do you think, Phil?
Flying all over the place.
What do you think the time is? You know, it's
the winning time.
Do you think it's going to be 90 seconds or less?
If you find me somebody that can finish one of those monster burgers in 90 seconds, I'm going to show you somebody that ate it in 2 bites.
You're going to show somebody that's going to be at the football game of their lifetime. Yeah,
that's exactly right. I'm going to show you somebody that greased their esophagus to get that thing down.
That's what they say. They say you bring in a shot of extra virgin olive oil, and then right before the competition starts, you drink that extra virgin, so you're just coating the throat right there, and it just gull it.
That may be written into the rules for cheating.
What would you be called? Would your nickname, if you win this, would you be called Gullet? Would that be would you wear that? Would be like, man, I'm the Gullet.
Do you want to be the Gullet? Yes.
Yeah. I'm the Gullet. How'd you get here? I'm the Gullet.
Just grow your hair out in the back too.
I'm Instagram famous. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, that's excitement for tomorrow. True excitement for tomorrow. I can't wait to hear. So over under on the winning time. Nobody can do that in 90 seconds. I just really maybe Ty Richardson could. If you reheated the burger in an air fryer, and gave him, I don't know, you get Lily Collins' phone number if he finishes the thing in 90 seconds, then I think he could do it. I'm not sure if he would live another week afterwards, but he'd pull it off.
Man, how cool is that? I do like a tasty burger.
That's right. They have Sprite there too, by the way, in case you're interested in that.
Wash that down.
Can I tell you today I got a text. I get like the first words that Matt uttered today on halftime were a line from Pulp Fiction. The next thing I get is a text. I did not have, like we say these days, did not have this on my bingo card. I didn't realize that bingo was going to stay that popular, by the way. I get a text from Grant Hall. Say what again?
Ooh.
Grant Hall has gotten into our Tarantino movie quotes. And then we went back and forth after that. And then the next thing it is, I'm sorry, did I disturb your concentration? Could you picture Grant Hall doing a Jules Winfield? I'm having my mind blown here, man, and it's not even the golden hour yet here on this Friday. What world are we living in here?
I believe your boss, my husband, told you to take me out on a date, and I want that trophy. So dance good.
Next thing I know, and that's the other thing he said. He sent another text that said, dance good. Are you guys coordinating this together? Have you and Grant made some kind of a plan to get as many Pulp Fiction quotes through the show today that you possibly can?
Let's go, Grant. I like it.
Waiting for your next one. Yeah, the money's in the mail. Check's in the mail, Grant. I don't know if Matt writes checks anymore, but
absolutely. I'm off the grid. I still write checks, no question about it.
Second hour of halftime coming up in a moment. We're going to be talking with Bob Holt from the Democrat Gazette. And all of a sudden, Bob started sending me texts from Django Unchained. Who thought that would happen?
Maybe he's tired. Maybe he needs a foot massage. You know, I'm kind of feeling tired myself right now. Man, why don't you shut up?
I am the foot master. I can't even say the line properly.
No, we're early. Let's hang back for a little bit.
Halftime back into the second hour in just a moment.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. You've got beer and football, nothing is hard. Until the other team scores. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
When I go out to eat, I want something fresh. I don't want something that's been sitting in a freezer or processed. When I go to Lily Sandwich Shop, I am satisfied to the max. That's because Josefa makes everything fresh and uses that River Valley farm fresh produce during her long growing season. Stop by Lily Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District and become another satisfied customer. The sandwiches speak for themselves.
My name is Lily. My Baba makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
Are you interested in saving money on your heating bills and upgrading your home's energy efficiency? Now's the time. Installing or upgrading to natural gas allows you to take advantage of high-efficiency appliances that save energy and money. From furnaces to water heaters to gas dryers and fireplaces, there's a natural gas option to fit your home and your budget. What's not to love about that? Don't wait. Call AOG today at 800-842-5690 or visit AOGC.com to learn more. AOG, energy for life.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel. 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 Fort Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny skies, a high this afternoon into the low 90s. We're nice and clear tonight, overnight low upper 60s to near 70. Saturday, lots of sunshine, a high low to mid 90s. And then Sunday, plenty of sun, a high on Sunday, right around the mid to upper 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 6 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. Ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Take it to the house.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Even one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Into hour number 2, 1 minute after 12 on a Friday, a football Friday. I guess it's our first official one. It's halftime. We roll along on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Christian Johnston in the producer's chair. And we'll talk with Bob Holt about 15 minutes. I think it's the first time we talk with Bob on a Friday, maybe ever. Thursday's been his day for a long time. Who was it that he told me that he spoke with yesterday on the phone? Just double checking here about it. It was Kenny Payne. So Arkansas assistant, is he associate head coach? I think that's his title, associate head coach for Cal. So, hey, Kenny Payne calls, and you've been trying to track him down. You got to answer. It's perfectly okay.
Did Kenny Payne play at Louisville? Where did
Think
he?
so,
Yeah,
yes.
I remember him.
And then coached there the last couple of years.
Yeah, he's solid player. Yeah.
Longtime assistant for Cal at Kentucky, too.
Yeah, good. He was one of the gets that Coach Cal wanted, right? Like when he left Kentucky 4 or 5 years ago, was that the truth? And then now they've reunited.
That's exactly right. Getting the band together again, and somewhat getting the entire band back together again. Well, I'm interested to see what that conversation may have been about. Maybe Bob can give us a little bit of a window into what that was about. And I saw there was good news about Treylon Burks. You know, we'd brought him up on Wednesday. He left practice early because of what appeared to be an injury, but he got back at practice yesterday for the Titans, so that was good to see.
The one that yeah, absolutely. Let's go, Burks. So I think all of Arkansas is pulling for you. Have a healthy year. He could be a Pro Bowler if he has a healthy year. The one that's confusing me, Phil, and I get it when you're a veteran. I'd like to see Aaron Rodgers take a first team drive, just one, just to kind of get because and everybody will tell you there's practice to a game. The speed's different. It just is. It doesn't matter. It just how it goes. So he got hurt last year, didn't play in the preseason, redshirted at Green. You know, his last year at Green Bay, he's just kind of going through the motions. He knew what was going on. He really had. You'd like to see him. I know he's a veteran, but you'd like to maybe see him take 7 plays. And if it's with the first team lineup, it's not like you're putting him with scrubs. You know, you're putting him with your first team guys to protect him. But you'd like to see him. And
that the last
as
snap
a player,
he didn't take it before the actual first snap he takes in a regular season game was not the snap where he snapped his Achilles.
Yeah, he had 4 snaps, but as a player, you kind of just want to do it. Just like, hey, let me get 6 plays. Let me get 8 plays just to kind of go out there. And so it's like a starting pitcher to a relieving pitcher, Phil. You're a little bit different because you're starting the game. You know, you're going through your warm-ups, you're going through your routine, and you're going out there to start and play well.
I'm also intrigued by what could happen at Tennessee, at Indianapolis with the quarterback position, because Anthony Richardson has kind of had a tough go of it. Of course, the injury last year cost him most of the season, but there were a lot of ups and downs, which I guess you'd expect for a freshman, for a rookie, no matter how talented. But man, he had a rough game yesterday for the Colts against Cincinnati. Colts won, but not really because of much that he did. Threw pick 6. 8 out of 14, averaged just over 6 yards per pass. And, Flacco didn't get on the field yesterday, but I wonder if the Colts at some point, it's not like Richardson is going to be benched to start the season. It's only been 2 years since he was drafted. But, I think there were a lot of other teams that would have tried to get in on Joe Flacco, and I think Flacco chose a place where he knew there was a good shot that he could get on the field potentially early to middle of the season, and not because of an injury to Anthony Richardson, just because he might not be a franchise quarterback.
Well, you have to have it in between the ears. You can take the most talented kids that you want to, and they simplify the offense for you, kind of clear up the picture for you, and you got a veteran Flacco that's seen everything. He's seen every defense. Anthony Richardson was limited in college playing quarterback. He's a baby.
He didn't really play very much.
That's what I mean. He hasn't seen a lot of reps. So, who gives you a better chance to win, Phil? Joe Flacco.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you wouldn't start Joe Flacco and have Anthony. What's to say Flacco's going to make it through the whole season? Once you get 40, man, you get hit a couple times. The bones just they don't react like you do when you were 25.
I wonder if Eduardo the Sherpa reacts the same as he did at 25, which was a while back. Eduardo, how you doing, man? It's been a minute. What's new?
Man, it's doing good, man. I'm doing good. And, you know, as I walk over this morning, I can never hear that whistle starting to blow. I can hear it real loud now. 6 days. You know, me and you have been having a little debate. You know, I like to use, you know, more than one. I wrote the book, but you brought up and how true it is. You know, Elvis Costello wrote, I write the book every day. And we're going to start writing a new book that starts in Little Rock, Arkansas in 6 days. You know, I had dinner with Chuck Merritt. You know, it started to be a tradition with us when he had a function at Clarksville a week ago. You know, he wasn't very optimistic about the season, football season, like a lot of media is. But I got something today to put in him and Bo Manley's coffee. Is their show supposed to start next week, sir?
Their show starts 6 o'clock on Monday morning, Eduardo. Yes, sir.
Well, this is what they're going to put in their coffee. So we're going to start for number one. We start that book, and then we're going to go on every game this year and write a new book.
That's a lot of books.
I went to my record collection today, and you've heard it before, and I'm going to stick with this. You've heard me mention them before, but I want to start off with Queen. We will rock you. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Then I went to Def Leppard, Rock of Ages, because you know what? This team has a little power and glory this year. We got a little Pyromania. We got a little Pyromania. And then when you talk about this season has special meaning to me, and I ended with burning down the house. I remember the last time Texas came to Fayetteville, and what did we do? We fed them a big bowl of Pyromania.
Yeah, they sure did, Eduardo. They sure did. Had to cut off before we got to the very end of it, because I feel like there might have been an explosion at the end. And man, you get 6 days. I just can't wait for your phone call on Wednesday. Heck, you might call on Thursday on game day. It's pretty rare that we actually get phone calls on game day. It's been a long time since we've been able to do that. In fact, I think we haven't ever been able to do that on halftime, so that'd be brand new. Grand Lake Mike will take us into the break, and we appreciate you today, Grand Lake Mike. What's going on?
Well, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I am a lifetime Steeler fan, but Phil, I'm also a lifetime forever Steeler fan. I grew up with the posters on my wall in the bedroom and bedspreads and blankets, the whole 9 yards.
Still got a terrible towel in the house?
Yeah, I've got 4 of them hanging on my little shrine.
It's got a Steelers shrine. It's pretty good.
Yes, my little man cave.
Is that one for each Super Bowl? How many Super Bowls the Steelers got? 6 or
6?
6, yeah.
6, yeah. So I have a 2-part question for you guys. One, regarding the Steelers, who do you guys think at the end of the season is going to be the better productive quarterback for the Steelers?
My sense is it's going to be Justin Fields. I'm not sure how much Russ has left. And Matt, you made a point too. It's like you need a really good team around him when he was younger in Seattle. I think around him with the Steelers is pretty good, but not at that level. I think at some point, I think both of them are going to start games this year, but I think it'll be Fields by the end.
Okay. Now my next question is, just for actually both of you, at the end of the football season, who do you guys think will have the better record, the Sooners or the Steelers? Win-loss record.
The Sooners or the Steelers? I mean, we're talking a 17-game schedule against the 12-game schedule, so that's, I guess, we go by winning percentage?
Yes.
Sooners. that would be bad. I think it'll be the Sooners. I'd look at a game or two over 500 for Pittsburgh, and I don't know what the winning percentage is of that. Oklahoma, man, actually, I got to look at this a little bit closer. They should start 3-0, and then it's Tennessee, Auburn, Texas, South Carolina, Ole Miss, and then Missouri, Alabama, LSU to finish. I mean, Oklahoma's got a real schedule. I could see Oklahoma at 7-5 or 6-6. Well, I think it'll be fairly close, Grand Lake Mike. Is that enough of an answer?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right.
I appreciate it. You guys have a great weekend.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate your phone call. Sooners and Steelers. Now, I don't know if I'd call it a shrine. I've got a little, you could probably see it on the webcast camera. I got a little platform on my shelf here that's, I'd call it a Pittsburgh shrine. Little Steelers, little Pirates, little Penguins. Don't have Pitt on there. I don't really have much.
You got Danny a poster of Danny DeVito and Batman. That would be the best. That would
be a good Penguin.
You could put that over there with you. Yeah.
No, I do have a poster of Danny DeVito from Ruthless People. Yes. Eat Muffy. Don't forget about the specials going on at Joe's Grilling Cantina. It's the best Tex-Mex. It's the best service anywhere in our listening audience. Joe's Grilling Cantina is at 3400 South 74th across from Harps in Fort Smith. Today is Fajita Friday, so you get $1 off all and any fajitas all day long. Tomorrow, the featured item is Mexicali. And, hey, Arkansas football on the TV next Thursday and Throwback Thursday as well. JoesFortSmith.com if you want to put in an order online. Bob Holt joins us on Halftime after this break.
This is Halftime.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. From the preseason NFL to college kicking off, BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. Think you know your stuff? Try our winner-take-all $300,000 NFL Survivor Pool for the upcoming season. When the game is over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today and use promo code BELIEVE and get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and HitThatLine.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric.
RazorbackPizza.com.
Join Matt Jones Thursday, August 29th from 11 to 1 at Red River Credit Union at Greenpoint Shopping Center. It's the battle for the Golden Bottle pre-tailgate party. Come out and enjoy free food and games as Red River Credit Union battles United Federal Credit Union for the Golden Bottle. Whoever collects the most diapers, wipes, formula, or cash wins. All donations go to Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center here in Fort Smith. That's Thursday from 11 to 1 at Red River Credit Union in Greenpoint Shopping Center on Rogers Avenue.
Should start with Bob.
It's time to talk with a unique individual.
You said you and Diva are OGs, old guys? Brett, you spoke so positively recently. I mean, did you expect this to happen?
He's a man of mystery.
Why do you always talk about Arkansas? But go ahead.
Well, why do you always talk about Kentucky? Hey, it's Bob again. I think I'm unmuted now. I figured it out. Man, you win the lottery 3 times, get to go to Starkville.
A man whose incisive questions and rapier wit.
Hey, John, but I had a 2-parter if that's okay. What did you mean? I'm sorry. I'm not that hit. Man, we got to get the Packers straightened out. Losing to the Jets, that ain't in Lambeau, that ain't good.
That placed him on the Mount Rushmore of Arkansas sports writers.
What do you think about this?
Sure, Bob. Future in that, yeah.
Here he is, the one and only Bob Holt.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Bob. Thanks for making time today for us. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Doing well. We're within a week from the start of Arkansas football. The media, though, is in a place where I guess feels a little bit odd because you're in the middle of a 4-day stretch where you don't get any media availability. There's no one to talk to as far as Arkansas football is concerned. You get Coach Pittman on Monday, and then that's really when the real rhythm of the football season starts for you guys and probably for the team as well. So it's our last Friday without football, Bob. It's all here right in front of us. Kenny Payne yesterday, huh? Can you give us a little window into what you might be working on?
Actually, it was some stuff for Blue Ribbon.
Very good. Basketball's getting a little bit more talk than usual this time of the year, too. Got our schedule out, got our the rumors about NIL. Hey, when you saw this thing about $8 million, I don't know if you'd seen that. Matt Norlander had said this yesterday on the Morning Rush. He guessed $8 million, maybe more, for the Arkansas basketball roster in terms of NIL. Can't be a surprise. When John Calipari took the job, he would not have taken the job had NIL not been in the right position.
Yeah, I mean, he had, even though obviously things had not been up to par, so to speak, Kentucky the last couple of years of those first-round NCAA tournament losses. He had a huge contract at Kentucky, and I agree he would not have come here. Now, I don't know exactly what the NIL situation is. I think it's probably pretty good. I did see the CBS, Matt Norlander and Gary Parrish, they've kind of been doing this series that they're polling a lot of different, like they said, over 100 college coaches. Some were they didn't identify them because to get honest answers, they basically promised anonymity. But they said some of them were, the biggest names in the game, and some of them were like assistant coaches at mid majors or maybe low majors. So big variety across the spectrum of the coaching spectrum. But one of them was that Cal had been the pretty strong favorite as the best off-season hire. He got 47% of the vote from the coaches, and I think Dusty May, the new Michigan coach from FAU, had gotten 20%. And so it wasn't like Cal got 80%, but he got basically twice as much as anybody else. And then another question they asked was who do they think has the best? I think maybe they worded the NIL awards test, but it's subjective. I mean, they didn't really have any data to back it up. And of course, we could apply it, see what everybody's saying, but it's not something you can do. But in Arkansas, I think they asked people to pick the top 3, and it was Arkansas, Kansas, and it was the third one, Louisville, maybe? I'm trying to remember. But the first 2 were definitely Arkansas and Kansas. And that's interesting, but again, it's subjective. It's the coach's opinion. It's what they believe. They don't really know. You probably hear things out on the recruiting trail or whatever, or you hear things from players, or you hear things from players' agents, but how much of that is a player's agent trying to basically get School A to bid against School B? So it's thing, and I think Arkansas probably does have a pretty big NIL fund for basketball, but you kind of got to take it with a grain of salt when you don't have the exact numbers there to compare.
With Coach Cal and Arkansas, and we're getting these blue chip prospects now. I mean, who are the top 3, top 4 contenders in the SEC next year?
Well, I tell you, the SEC is going to be tough. And you look at Arkansas's recruiting class, and it's probably as good a recruiting class as, Arkansas has ever had. I remember we made such a big deal when Eric, and deservedly so, when Eric Musselman brought in 3 McDonald's All-Americans in the one class with Nick Smith and Anthony Black and Jordan Walsh. And, Cal's got 2 McDonald's All-Americans. He flipped from Kentucky, and then another freshman who, he talked about Boogie Fland and Carter Knox, and then Billy Richmond is another. He won the McDonald's All-American, but very highly regarded, probably top 40 type guy. But he didn't bring in like 7 freshmen, like, top flight freshmen like he did at Kentucky. He talked about how with the portal and NIL you need to, go out and get older guys. So he's got some veteran guys who were with him at Kentucky, or, sophomores at least, and a junior. And he went and got, like, Adu, the big man from Tennessee, was all SEC first teamer. And he got Trevor Brazil to stay. I think Trevor, if he can stay healthy, that's a big if, because he's had struggles with his injuries, knee especially, but hopefully he can stay healthy. If he does, like, you have a big year. But, yeah, he brought in a great class. But if you look at the preseason polls, Alabama's pretty much 2 or 3. They're right up there. People are expecting Auburn to be really tough. Tennessee, I think Kentucky, we'll see how they do under Mark Pope, but I think you probably put Arkansas probably in the top 3 or 4. But it's not like they're just heading. At least, or we'll see how it plays out. So, but I think it's going to be very competitive in the SEC.
Hey, Bob, one
14-4, something like that.
Let's switch over to football here for a moment, Bob. One position group that I used the word concern, but maybe that wouldn't have been the right word. It was just a lot of unknown, was the linebacker group. And Travis Williams was up speaking to the media on Wednesday, and, they're saying all the right things about the guys that have been added through the spring portal season, thinking of Steven Dix, Larry Worth. There's even guys like Anthony Switzer coming out of the portal during spring ball, Danny Salee, who was up at the defensive line from BYU. And, the coaches talked openly about, we probably need to add on the defensive side, specifically at linebacker in the portal season, the spring portal season. But it seems that sometimes you wonder about things that are said, just like you're talking about the NIL and what coaches are saying and their motivation behind it. But they're saying all the right things about the linebacker position, and right now it seems they're pretty comfortable with the depth they have there.
Yeah, they feel good. They lost a lot of guys in the portal, so they got Brett sophomore is really among the returnees is the guy that's running. He's been running first team with Simeon Sorey, who's a transfer from Georgia, who he had started experience at Georgia. Sorey did. He started the SEC championship game against Alabama, but Georgia's just so loaded that I'm sure he was going to play there because he had played there the last couple of years. But I think he wanted to go somewhere he could be the guy, be the unquestioned starter, all that stuff. And so he came to Arkansas. But if you played at Georgia and if you started Georgia, I think you're pretty good. So he was a nice pickup. And then a guy like Steven Dix, he comes in from Marshall where he had a big year, but he'd been at Florida State. And he had started there, and then he got hurt. And he was real open about why he left Florida State. He basically said he got hurt, had a torn labrum, and then he talked to his coaches, and they basically said, look, if you want to go, be a starter, I'm paraphrasing here, you probably need to go somewhere else. I mean, they weren't kicking him off the team or anything, but they basically said, if you want to play regularly, you probably need to look for another place. And he said he appreciated the honesty. And you got Anthony Switzer, who's a guy who started at, was off his career at Arkansas State, and then he's been at Utah State where he started and was very productive. And now he's come in, and you mentioned, Worth, who's a guy that, some of these guys can play nickel or safety, linebacker, and I'm talking about Switzer and Worth in particular. And Travis was kind of coy, not kind of, he just basically didn't want to say how he's going to use them, which I get. He doesn't want opponents to know. But, yeah, I think they feel pretty good about that. But, this time of year everybody feels good about everything, right? So we'll see how that goes. But on paper it looks like they did a pretty good job restocking the room.
Well, Sorey is the one that I'm really interested to watch him because I view him kind of the same way that I view Drew Sanders, though I'm not sure, exactly what the recruiting battles were when he came out of high school and everything, but I viewed Sanders the same way as Sorey, and you just mentioned, if you can start the SEC championship game for Georgia, you should be able to play almost anywhere. And with Sanders, I know it was a different thing. He wanted to play a different position or at least different spot at linebacker. Alabama wasn't going to let him, and coming to Arkansas allowed him to show what he could do to the NFL scouts, and he had a great final season. I'm kind of expecting not the same kind of production necessarily, but almost the same kind of athlete with Xavier Sorey.
Well, like you said, he's a high-level guy, and I'm sure he's really hungry to get to play, every down in most games, and show his productivity and show he made the right choice. The players talk about what good lateral quickness he has, and obviously you need to be able to do that sideline to sideline linebacker. But yeah, he's a guy you get excited about because it wasn't like he was languishing on the bench at Georgia. Now he didn't have 100 tackles either, but he's a guy that I think has a high upside. He's a junior. He's got 2 years left. If he has a big year, maybe he goes in the draft. Who knows? That would be a nice problem to have, right? If he has a good enough year that he thinks he's going to be a high draft pick. But he's a nice pick. He's a guy Travis Williams had recruited previously, so they had a relationship, and it seems like he's fit in pretty well.
Bob, we'll leave it there. Thanks again for making time for us today. And next week, it'll be game day, and we can preview a football game a little bit. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good, man. You guys.
Thanks, Bob.
Bob Holt, Democrat Gazette, with us today on Friday, but usually with us on Thursday. Brought to you by Crabtree RV Center. Been around our listening audience, serving our listening audience for over 70 years and 4 generations in Alma. Crabtree RV Center is going to make sure your family finds the perfect RV for the adventures you describe. The service and parts department on site. They've got everything you need at Crabtree RV. You can get a look online at crabtreerv.com. Calls and texts on halftime come in at 877-377-6963. We'll be back right after this.
You trying to say Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball?
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
What makes Crabtree RV Center different? First, we are a 4th-generation family-owned business taking pride in making your family's dreams come true. No corporate mentality here. Second, we've been in business for 74 years, founded in 1950 here in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas area. We are not going anywhere. What does that mean for our customers? A family feel with no corporate hidden fees. The reassurance that we will be here for generations to come, and knowledgeable salespeople who want to pick the right RV for your family to make lifetime memories in. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
This is Halftime.
The best selection, the best customer service, and now matching down payments up to $2,500 at Harry Robinson Salisal Ford. This includes every brand new Ford on the lot. And Troy, this also means you still get the rebates and the great financing as well.
Yes, Tommy, right now they're offering as low as 0% financing right now on a new Ford. And the best part is most brands, you get the rebate, but you don't get the special APR. Come down here, Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, where you're going to get the rebate and you're going to get that special APR so you can get your discounts and all the money off of these cars, and we're going to be matching your down payment up to $2,500, which makes this deal even better.
What if I got a great looking trade that's got a few miles on it, but a great looking car? Should I bring it too?
100%. Harry is the home of more for your trade. We want to hold to that. So come down here and see us. We're going to get you the best deal that we possibly can, and we're going to do everything in our power to earn your business.
Matching down payments up to $2,500. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
If you're interested in continuing your involvement in high school athletics and want to make some extra money, what better way to do so than by becoming an official? For information on how you can give back to student athletes in Arkansas, please contact us at 501-955-2500. Again, that's 501-955-2500. The Arkansas Activities Association is looking for sports officials, and you may be the answer.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
On a western bay, and it serves 100 ships a day. Lonely sailors pass the time away and talk about their homes. And there's a girl in this harbor town, and she works laying whiskey down. They say, Brandy, fetch another round. She serves them whiskey and wine. The sailors say, Brandy.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
You think every woman whose name is Brandy has been told that she's a fine girl? That has to go along with it. Like, there's no way. I know a woman named Brandy used to be SID for women's hoops at the Little Rock Trojans, and that would happen. We'd go on the road. That happened once or twice a road trip. So I don't know any songs named Phil. So I don't know any lines that somebody would come back to me with here. See, I'd seen this about. I brought up the idea. I got to buy this book, The Price: What It Takes to Win in College Football's Era of Chaos, by Armin Katayan and John Talty. They've just been letting little pieces of it out, excerpts, on CBS Sports and a few other websites over the last couple of days. Detailed. It sounded like Nick Saban peeling the paint on the walls and blowing back Lane Kiffin's hair a little bit in the office. With a meltdown, sort of I wouldn't call it a shouting match, because the way I read it, it was one-sided, and also detailed another face-to-face confrontation between Tua Tagovailoa's father and Nick Saban, which I mean, I've seen some parents, and I haven't seen these parents at Arkansas very much, maybe in one instance that stands out, where the parents are vocal about not agreeing with the way that their son or daughter has been utilized as an athlete for the team. But I don't ever feel like it got to the point of a shouting match. But apparently that happened. Like, Tua's father was really involved. I mean, was at a lot of the practices when Tua played at Alabama, and was vocal about how he thought his kid should be utilized at quarterback, to the point where he got in Saban's face. And I can't even picture this. I can't picture that at all. Like, I could picture Saban getting into an official's face, getting into Lane Kiffin's face, one of his assistant coaches and one of his players. But a parent, that one comes out of right field for me a little bit, and seems like it, I don't know, doesn't fit that program.
I think every coach deals with that. Every single coach at every level. I think that's. I think there's just certain players, certain whatever aspects of it is, but and it's all different. You know, it's all situational. But I do think that every coach, you know, what were the top 10 rules for Bill Parcells? You know, this, I don't want to talk to your parents. You know, that kind of thing. It's like I got it. We're here to do a job. I know Mama loves you. You know, we get it. So that's tough. You don't know, because you're there to take care of the kids. You're there to support the kids. You tell the parents that you're going to take care of them, and then they still come over. That's always tough to deal with the parents of the kids.
You know, and just kind of reading about what Mr. Tagovailoa was like, and I wasn't able to remember what his first name is, because it's a little bit of it. Galu is his name, Galu. He was described by the Maryland coaching staff as a nightmare. And I've heard that about, you know, some parents here and there with whatever program. It's just, I don't know if it ever devolved into a shouting match with a legendary head coach. So I don't know. I'd be a little bit embarrassed, you know? I mean, you know, you grew up with a coach as a father, Matt, so, you know, I don't know how I don't know what that was like, you know, with between Coach Nutt and your dad, but I would just assume that one coach might leave another coach alone, even when it comes to how he's utilizing his son. So, I mean, was your dad just kind of interested in the team he was coaching in and watching you and maybe talking with you off to the side, but not necessarily like getting involved with the coaching staff?
Yeah, I don't know how all the interactions go. I mean, you know, there's relationships there. You know, you got to have relationships. You have sit downs, and so there is conversation and back and forth. It's you know, what other job do you have where, you know, the parents go in there and talk to the employer, you know, whoever's in charge? You're right. It's a weird function.
That's a really good point. You know, like I would have my parents, they ever came and visited.
Like if they called Tommy up and was like, "Hey, well, you know what's going on? You know, you're handcuffing Phil. You're not letting him do it, or whatever. Phil's a peacock. You got to let him fly." You know.
I don't think I've ever been described as that before. I need a few more feathers before I can let him unfurl like that. But you make a perfect point. Like maybe theater. You know, you hear about, you know, theater parents.
Yeah. Cheerlead. Yeah.
They'll get involved to that point. You're not utilizing my kid the proper way. But I do feel like maybe it's more of a sports thing. I mean, and it starts, if a parent's like that for a college coach, that means it started a long time back in Little League. And I think that this, to me, feels like it's probably something that, honestly, it's not like it gets blown out of proportion. It's just you remember the confrontations are the one that get the focus. It's not the relationships where, you know, everybody, not like all the parents and coaches get along with Kumbaya and singing songs together, but there's the understanding. Coach has a job here. Job is to put the team in the best position to win, and the development with the kids goes along with that. You know, and once it gets to professional sports, that's where it feels like, all right, now this is a job. Now back up. Let the professionals do their job, and you can be a parent. It's just some parents can't stop trying to influence, you know, their kids' lives when somebody else is the one who's in charge at that moment. And now you're talking about a relationship that kind of falls off a little bit here. Mr. Pibb says Mitch Mustaine's mom did this.
See, some more than others.
Yeah, and Jamie, no, I don't know if I've been called peacock, but, you know, just not one half of those words before either. Parent got in Saban's face and the kid didn't transfer.
It's off the movie The Other Guys, Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell. It's all out of love, Phil.
See, and I miss like half the movie quotes if they occurred over the last 20 years.
All out of love.
I really do. I really miss on these movie quotes over the last 20 years. I got to work on this stuff. And now some of the nicknames come in. No one ever called me Philadelphia Freedom. They went with the cream cheese direction, GT. And also, for some reason, some people think I'm from Philadelphia. This is my name and the state that I'm from originally, but no, it's quite a bit different than that. Mark wonders if the player is embarrassed by the parent. And like my initial answer would think, yes, probably so. But there must be a point where you just, all right, there he goes again. There's Dad again. There's nothing I can do about this. And at some point they just kind of accept that this is what's going to happen, which I feel bad for that kid too. Like I want a parent to support a kid no matter what, but there's a difference, I think, between support and, showing your ass to the coach, which I don't know if that reflects upon the kid very well either. And then that, this also goes into the conversation of the movie that we're assigning to C Unit for this weekend, which is Back to School, which was all about a father basically trying to get his kid to do well in school by saying, I'll go to school with you too. And, paying Kurt Vonnegut to basically give him all the information about what Vonnegut wrote about. That's kind of the same idea here. What was it? He built a business school with his own name on it so that they would let him into school and he could influence teachers so his kid would graduate. It's kind of the same thing. Who knew? Back to School and Galu Tagovailoa. Different. Melon Thornton and Galu Tagovailoa, different people, but maybe a little bit of the same tack.
Who is the parent off Full House that wrote got her kid into USC and then ended up getting into big time trouble? I think she
was Lori Loughlin, right?
There you go.
I mean, here's the thing, that there's a lot of those kids that I don't know if they ever accomplished anything for themselves. There's a difference between support.
Well,
from
I
a
see
parent
what you're saying. Yeah. There's a little difference.
And their accomplishments have a lot to do with who
you got to at least
was.
put some work in to make it to this level. Yeah.
Well, and that's not to take did Tua do the work to get to where he is? Absolutely.
Tua's amazing, man. Tua's on the short list of guys that could win a Super Bowl. You got to make sure. I think as the team aspect, they got to get more physical and strong. I mean, for if you're going to play late in the playoffs, man, it's black and blue. You got to be able to. It's a 2 shin strap game. You're going to kick each other in the face. It's a black and blue type of way to if you're going to make it in the playoffs. And the Dolphins are soft. That's just the big thing. If you want to look at the Dolphins, they're soft, and that's not Tua's fault. But when it gets cold weather, they get up against somebody that's going to knock them around. They don't. Maybe they could do it though. You got to beat the Bills. You got to beat the Ravens. You start looking at teams they got to beat to make it. Chiefs, they got to get more physical.
Well, they need realignment.
And if they get home playoff games, what I'm saying, if you can get the Chiefs coming to Miami, it's that more than any team in the league. I guess if you're a dome team. But the Dolphins on my list of teams that need home field advantage to make it to that would be what they would need the most is to have home field advantage.
They need a chance maybe to even if they had to go on the road to play a playoff game in Jacksonville.
If they could go play a dome team. Yeah, you don't want to go play Kansas City streaming on Amazon Prime when it's minus 17 degrees. I mean, that's not a recipe for them to have success.
Yeah, that's a recipe for freezing to death. That didn't work too well for them in Kansas City.
And then the other year they had to go to Buffalo. You start looking at your playoff runs. You got to get some of those at your home stadium.
Brandon wonders what Tua's father was like to referees. Yes, yeah, they're going to berate the coach, berate the ref. I do think those things go together as well. We'd also had a text, and I can't remember who it's from on the line just a moment ago about would you have wanted to play for, and he'd mentioned Bobby Petrino. I know Petrino's got the reputation of cursing somebody out or just being free with the 4-letter words every once in a while. Matt, that doesn't seem to me like the kind of thing that would bother you if a coach, dropped a few choice F-bombs at you for a poor throw.
You know, I had one of the best quarterback coaches, David Lee, and you want to talk about somebody who was just as hard as on anybody. I mean, he was one of the toughest nails, hard on you. You knew what to expect. I fumbled the ball in a drill, and he came and tackled me on the ground and put me back on the ball. You know, he would still grab my face mask. I've had Coach David Lee was, and you knew what it was expected out of you, and you knew it was out of love. You knew there was a respect there. You knew he just wanted to win just as much as you did. So y'all kind of get him. You know, there's different styles. Everybody kind of has their own personality, but you know, as a player, you knew that they were on your side and they wanted you to do well. We knew we had one common goal, one purpose, and that's the thing where if you lose that, then I think it does get tough, and you can't be personal. That's the other thing. I don't think Bobby Petrino's. I don't think he does that. So yeah,
he tackled you. That seems like a difficult thing to do.
Oh, David Lee's a G. He's you talk about one of the best option quarterback coaches. Just a good dude. I mean, just loves ball. Man, he was a good one. I think he was the OC Phil for the Dolphins when they put in that radar, you know, that read option, and they were running it with Ronnie Brown and Ricky Williams.
It looked like his last job was with the Memphis Express, and I think that was the UFL 2019, so been retired for about 5 years now. 877-377-6963 if you want to get with us here on Halftime. Back to wrap up our second hour in just a minute.
This is Halftime. Do you want to see the Dallas Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas on November 10th? Can you eat a Monster Burger in 150 seconds to qualify for the football trip of a lifetime? It's the 19th annual football trip of a lifetime brought to you by Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and HitThatLine.com. Go to HitThatLine.com for more details and let's secure your seat at the table.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Missing or broken teeth? Sharp Smiles wants you to start chewing again with dental implants. Scared of the dentist? Sharp Smiles will help you overcome your fear. Big dental problems? Sharp Smiles Modern Dentistry and Implants is your answer to your dental needs and services, where your smile is top priority. Get the smile you have always wanted from the friendly faces at Sharp Smiles, 2600 Market Trace, Suite B, off Jenny Lind across from Harps. For more information, visit the website at sharpsmilesdds.com or call 648-9988.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and at Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted Best Garage Door Company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come get you some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
You never know what you will walk up on or find over the hill at the Tackle Box. For almost 50 years, the Tackle Box has been your home for hunting and fishing supplies and some of the best outdoor stories. Whether guns, ammo, fishing supplies, or home decor, come back and see them again. They even buy your old fishing tackle or guns. The Tackle Box, your sports store for hunting, fishing, firearms, and more. 3010 Street, Fort Smith, 646-3193.
The adventure starts at the Tackle Box for sportsmen just like you.
Did you know that almost 80% of all advertising is spent on digital? This is Dale Daniels, Digital Sales Manager for ESPN Arkansas, and due to the growth in digital advertising, we have the opportunity for the right person to join our team. Digital and radio advertising go hand in hand, and we're looking for someone to help businesses grow with this powerful combination. If you have experience in broadcast and digital marketing or business development, we want to hear from you. Email your resume to sales@hitthatline.com. Pearson Broadcasting is an equal opportunity employer.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
What's the matter with the clothes I'm wearing? Can't you tell that your tie's too wide? Maybe I should buy some old tab collars. Welcome back to the age of jive. Lately, honey, your pants less slashy till you spend a lot of money. Everybody talking about the new sound, funny, but it's still rock and roll to me. What's the matter with the car I'm driving? Can't you tell that it's out of style? Should I get a set of white wall tires? Are you gonna cruise a miracle mile? Nowadays you can't be too sentimental. It's true, baby, blue continental. Hot, cool, even if it's old, just still rock and roll to me.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
You picked this one for me, Matt Jones. That feels like it.
I mean, I celebrate his entire catalog. We could have a Billy Joel day. We could have a Billy. You remember when Billy Joel and Elton John did their tour together?
I remember this.
That would have been one to see. We could do a Billy Joel Elton John day as well.
Do a back-to-back one, just like their tour was called. We could also do an entire week, I think, of songs that are just titled with a woman's name.
The Wind Cries Mary.
Roxanne. Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, literally, you could find 3,000 of these songs probably. Chris in Springdale has called us up. Chris, what's going on? How are you?
Doing pretty good. How are you guys doing today?
Outstanding. It's Friday. Couldn't be any better, unless it was 2 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm bringing it back to Pulp Fiction. I got a trivia question for you guys. Which SEC city is mentioned in Pulp Fiction, and do you know why that city is mentioned?
Is it Amsterdam?
It's Tennessee, Knoxville.
Ding, 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 correct.
Correctamundo.
And the reason why is because Quentin Tarantino was born in Knoxville.
Next time I see you, it'll be on Tennessee time.
All now, 8. When in the movie is Knoxville even mentioned?
When he's in the phone booth.
Okay.
He's got
also,
he's got the St. Vincent look-alike in the Big Jerry cab company.
Very good. Chris, you can't get anything from this movie past Matt Jones. It's impossible.
By the bedside kangaroo.
Yeah, that's actually where the watch is made. He mentions was made in Knoxville.
Love it. Thank you.
It's good question there, Chris. I was unaware of this. Well done. 877-377-6963 if there's any more Pulp Fiction trivia from Matt Jones over here. What year did Pulp Fiction come out?
92.
92?
Ish. 92-ish. I don't know. I could be off a year or two. Could have been 94 or something, but 92-ish.
4 years after that, Happy Gilmore was made to nothing but glowing reviews and massive success. And I learned a couple of days ago there is a Happy Gilmore 2 that will be filmed, starting to be filmed next month through November in New Jersey. And I saw some photos of the casting call. They'd made a casting call for extras. You get paid $216 for 8 hours if you're a union member, $176 for 8 hours non-union. And the line outside the Hyatt Hotel in Morristown, New Jersey, where they're holding this casting call, extended several blocks down because everybody wants to be the next boss at the construction site that gets the giant nail plugged in the top of his head. Everybody wants to be part of this movie for very good reason. And I can't wait to see the thing, too. Happy Gilmore 2. It could have been a better name than Happy Gilmore 2. Maybe. Third hour of halftime is approaching. It is the golden hour. So it's time to get on with us with all the fun things you've been holding off for the previous 4 days. 877-377-6963. Halftime is back right after this.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
It's Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren, here with Grant Neal. Let's talk about service. The video inspection, something brand new.
So this is something we tried out recently, and when you bring your car in for service, our technician is going to do a full video inspection of your car and get that sent directly to you. We kind of blind opened it, and the feedback from our customers has been unbelievable.
Do I need an appointment for this or what?
We have appointments available, but we also service walk-ins. You know, we want to offer a full slew of services. On top of where we've always been by getting a tire rotation included with your service, you're also going to get a full alignment check free of charge, and also that video inspection sent directly to you. Just a full slew of services we can offer to make it super easy and convenient to do business with us here.
What about EVs? You guys check those?
Yeah, you know, that's a big conversation right now. We're seeing more and more of them on the road, and we have become experts. I make sure that my staff is totally educated and up to date on all the information that we need for those. So it doesn't matter if it's a Chevrolet or not. Tesla, Hyundai, Kia, all the EVs on the road can be serviced by our expert technicians.
At Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny skies, a high this afternoon into the low 90s. We're nice and clear tonight, overnight low upper 60s to near 70. Saturday, lots of sunshine, a high low to mid 90s. And then Sunday, plenty of sun, a high on Sunday, right around the mid to upper 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 6 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Well, take it to the house.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's Come on, dog. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
For one Razorback. Is vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Back with you for the Golden Hour on halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. We've made it through 14 hours of award-winning radio this week. So now we can take the shoes off, unbuckle the belt to just one notch farther, put the feet up, and figure out what the heck we're going to do over the next hour or so. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Christian Johnston producing, Neil Atkinson from Bet Sarrazin coming up in about 15 minutes. And we have made it to the end of the week, Matt. We had the weekend really started yesterday, as we always say, but now it is truly upon us. And, one of the things I did enjoy yesterday was hearing Miami of Ohio head coach Chuck Martin accuse Kalen DeBoer and Alabama of stealing their kicker. So let's listen to that one more time.
All right, special teams, lost your kicker. Carter McLaughlin.
We didn't lose him. He's at Alabama. We know exactly.
I understand.
We know exactly
that.
where he's at. You media people, it's all pretend. Like, no, Alabama stole our kicker.
Yes,
they illegally recruited
I didn't want to say it,
They
folks.
illegally recruited our kicker and stole him from us. And like that's a fact. But but we act like it's not. We live in this la world. Like, hey, let's not talk. I don't know why everybody knows what's going on. So yeah, Alabama stole our kicker. A couple other schools tried to steal it, but then okay, what's the question?
So very good there. Kalen DeBoer was asked about this after practice yesterday, and what do you expect to get as far as an answer is concerned? Quote, he entered the portal, and we reached out to him. That's how that goes, right? So we did everything the way you're supposed to, unquote. A couple other teams were in on him as well. I just thought it was a coach that sounded like he was upset that he lost his kicker to the top football program in the country.
How'd you lose it? It wasn't lost. It's like, I know exactly where it is.
That's exactly right. Stole our kicker. It sounds like, they call that sour grapes.
Everybody has to understand that if you're at a non-Power 5 school and a Power 5 school reaches out to you and gives you more money, you can't. What are you going to do?
Just got to keep recruiting kickers, I think is what it comes to. You had a guy who missed one field goal last year. Now who knows what kind of kicking he's going to get. I also like you media types. The way you say things, we're like, well, hold on a moment here. You coaching types usually say something without it necessarily being the truth all the time. So these things do work both ways. And they're only supposed to go what they know off of. Lost our kicker. What was the media guy supposed to do? So Alabama stole your kicker, right? And so who are you replacing him with? I'm not quite sure if Coach Martin has ever done the interviewing outside of maybe a job interview. What else do I see here? Oh, yeah. So you think Pete Carroll's going to get back into coaching? So yesterday, Lincoln Riley was asked about Carroll being, I won't call it a professor. I just know he's going to be teaching some sort of class at USC. And whatever advisory role he's got with Seattle is largely ceremonial, if not entirely ceremonial, for the only coach that's ever won a Super Bowl there. So Riley has said that, yes, he's spoken with Carroll before, and that he would be idiotic if he did not, I don't know, it's a matter of ask for his help, but listen to the things that he has to say about Southern Cal football. And if that would be the case, wouldn't that be interesting? He's on the payroll for Seattle as an advisor. They're still paying Pete Carroll to do nothing. USC, I'm assuming, will pay him something to teach whatever class he's going to teach, but maybe Lincoln Riley has an advisor right there ready to go and a guy that knows what it's like to coach at Southern California in the first place.
Wouldn't you want Pete Carroll on your staff if you could? To, any type of idea, just to have him there to bounce things off or just to listen to what he had. I have Pete Carroll on the short list of all-time coaches, especially if you're just looking in the last 20 years. what he's able to do, man. How many coaches have won a national football championship and a Super Bowl? I mean, that's
only two others.
Yeah,
just two others. That's it. Here's the quote. He said, "I'd love to have him. He's great." Lincoln Riley said to reporters. We've had a chance to catch up pretty often, check in with each other. He's been a great resource, great person to pick his brain. I'm excited he's going to be here, and we'd be crazy not to take advantage of having him around. Whether it's an official role or not, he's made it very clear we've got a good open line of communication. Matt, he's more of an advisor for USC than he is for the Seattle Seahawks.
Probably so.
Much more so, I think.
Probably so, yeah.
72 years old. He said he could get back into coaching tomorrow if he wanted to. I believe that, too. I don't think Pete Carroll is done coaching. Now, there's some that think Nick Saban is not done coaching either. I have a sense that this College Game Day thing, I think he's about to get into broadcasting in a way where he won't be getting out of it. And I think he's going to be really, really good at that. I think Pete Carroll will coach again. But would it be in college? I mean, for somebody that has not coached in college in this atmosphere, and it feels more, I mean, I never like the comparison saying, oh, this is just like the NFL, because college football, even in its current iteration, is nothing like the NFL. But here's somebody that's dealt with salary caps and players getting paid, and I don't know, maybe could you see Carroll getting back into college?
100%, Phil. I think if Coach Pete Carroll gets back into coaching, it's at college. It's at the college level. Yes, I do. Kind of like Mac Brown, what he did. You start looking at who was Herm Edwards got back into it later on, whatever, and Pete Carroll's not that far removed for it. I could see it next year. It's going to happen quick, whenever all the stuff goes down and the portal season here in about 6 months or 4 months, whenever all this starts back again, I bet Pete Carroll's name would be. I mean, wouldn't you want Pete Carroll for 3-4 years? I mean, you saw Duke Snyder go back to Kansas State. I mean, you see it happen. So I would not be surprised at all.
But it doesn't sound like Coach Riley is nervous that Pete Carroll maybe might have designs on his old job potentially. Now, wouldn't that be interesting?
Well, Pete Carroll has Arkansas ties. I mean,
Sure
he's been on the Arkansas coaching staff before.
That's right. That is very right. And Belichick is the one that I don't think he'll get back. I don't think he's going to be a head coach again.
He's riding bikes on the Chesapeake Bay with a 23-year-old. I don't think Belichick's worried about coaching another game in his life, man. That dude's living a different life right now.
Well, he is in the media. I don't remember exactly the role he's going to have, but he is involved in football to some point as an analyst. So it's not like he's completely divorced himself from the sport, and I don't think he wanted to divorce himself from the sport. I think he wanted to coach. I just don't think they're takers right now. And it looks here like the Pro Football Hall of Fame has changed its selection process for coaches, and Belichick would only have to wait one season to be eligible to be voted into Canton. It's 5 years, used to be 5 years, and now it's 5 years for players. One season is all you got to sit out before you're eligible for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, which also means that Carroll would be eligible for the Pro Football Hall of Fame the same time Belichick is.
Both of them will be in. I'd be surprised if they're both not first ballots. Both 100%.
I would agree. That would be some class. That would be a crazy class to think about. Just those two coaches alone, independent of the players that might be eligible for it too. So
is it Eli Manning or Peyton Manning? There's somebody that
I think it's Eli.
It's Eli's up to get in. Yeah.
That's the one that'll really is going to have most of the debate. I'm sorry though, but two Super Bowl MVPs, independent of the other statistics, if you've won the Super Bowl MVP twice, then you probably have had a career in the regular season that would warrant looking at it. At the very least.
And he was a one-team guy. Remember there late in his career, there was talk about flirting with him going to another team, and he stated that, a one-team guy. That's pretty cool.
Quick break on halftime. Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen stops by after this break.
Oh, come on, guys. It's so simple. Maybe you need a refresher course. It's all ball bearings nowadays.
This is halftime.
Together we stand as tall as the Tower of Old Maid. Our memories are etched in stone like names on senior walk, and our blood flows razorback red. For 100 years, we've been hog wild, and today we continue the tradition. We are Arkansas Razorbacks.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Pay attention. This happens fast. Routine, scheduled, maintenance. You know it's coming one day, but that day's in the future. Then the future comes, and your wallet's not ready for that $250 maintenance. But your forklift is. It needs it. Good thing you're smart. You're buying a used forklift from Medley Equipment Company this summer, and its first planned maintenance will be free because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm branch manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
It's summer clearance sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Save 25% off summer casual and fishing clothing by Ariat, Rig, Hook, Wrangler, and Under Armour. Old Town kayaks and canoes, marked to cost. Save hundreds of dollars on the Old Town while they last. Archers, get ready for early bow season. Don't miss the summer clearance sale at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Did you know that almost 80% of all advertising is spent on digital? This is Dale Daniels, Digital Sales Manager for ESPN Arkansas, and due to the growth in digital advertising, we have the opportunity for the right person to join our team. Digital and radio advertising go hand in hand, and we're looking for someone to help businesses grow with this powerful combination. If you have experience in broadcast and digital marketing or business development, we want to hear from you. Email your resume to sales@hitthatline.com. Pearson Broadcasting is an equal opportunity employer.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Headed to our hotline and talking with Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. Want to put a little wager on your favorite sporting event? College football season is here. Have the Bet Saracen app on your phone. If you're an Apple user, download from the App Store. Android users using Google Play. The web browsers all work. BetSaracen.com. Neil, we are within 24 hours from the official kickoff of the college football season. So I guess Bet Saracen, you might say, hallelujah. So will the bettors.
It's like Christmas Eve for me. You know, one of my sayings is that, you know, here in the South, we've got two seasons, college football season and waiting on college football season. And so waiting on college football is officially over tomorrow about 11 o'clock. It's just odd that it's going to be played over in Ireland, but heck, it's college football. It's on TV. It's a ranked team. I'll take it.
That's interesting the way you put it. One of our Tuesday guests, Bill King, says football season never ends. It's just there's the playing portion of the season and there's the non-playing portion of the season. I guess one way that I might put it for a betting app would be there's the prop bet portion of the season, the preseason prop bet portion of the season, and the non-preseason prop bet portion of the season too, because now we actually get to the games and betting lines and everything. So you got all the games that are available tomorrow, right?
Oh, yeah, and we've actually added some of the FCS games on there, because typically in the regular season, the FCS games come out anywhere from 24 to 18 hours before the game. Those, you know, back in the old days, we used to call those the extra board games, and those are usually, you know, what we know now as division, the lower divisions, and now we call it FCS and FBS, but. Aside from that, if the game's on TV tomorrow, we've got a betting line on it, and hopefully we'll have the live coverage. The live coverage on the first weekend, they have to have actually scouts in the stadium because the NCAA doesn't have official data deals and things of that. So sometimes some things can get a little wonky on that, but I think we'll be in pretty good shape tomorrow. We have already run a lot of the simulations and used prior year's data and things like that to make sure all the parlay calculations are working, all of the in-play stuff is working, the props and all of that stuff. So a lot of fun stuff happening, and it's a great time. I just love seeing real football on the TV. It's hard for me to watch the NFL preseason sometimes, but real football, it's not hard at all.
Yeah, I saw where the Mid-American Conference announced that they will have weekly availability reports. Still haven't had an announcement from the SEC about this, which feels like a surprise. Has the betting industry, or maybe Bet Saracen itself, taken a stance on whether or not the idea of player availability and injury reports is something that you're for or against?
I'm absolutely for it. I'm absolutely for the bettors having as much information that is publicly available at their disposal to make their wagering decisions. Just like me, it's important. I want as much publicly information that I have available to be able to set my lines and my pricing right and manage my risk. So it's a win-win situation for us all. Transparency in our business is good for everybody, not just for one side. So I'm all for that. And you know, this is just speculation. You know, the NCAA, you know, has been, you know, adversive to like things like college props and data collecting their data officially for use for gambling purposes. With the size of these football conferences, I can envision and see at some point in the future where I think basketball may stay with the NCAA because the NCAA tournament is great, but these bigger football conferences may go out on their own and start doing official data deals because, you know, it all kind of is connected with transfer portal, NIL, and things of that nature. And they're going to try to monetize that because, you know, college football is always saying they need more money, especially on the NIL part. So I see them monetizing as much as they can to bring that into the mix, especially if, these players go on the payroll, like some of the recent cases have happened. So they're going to look to pay for that in some form of nature. And I see possibly official data deals and things like injury reports and standardizing all of that as a part of that, making that successful.
See, now I wonder what would happen once the playoff arrives, because the conference is the ones that are making the decisions on whether or not there will be availability reports. And I don't know if that has anything to do with the college football playoff, which is its own entity. And I know that the conferences are, they're the ones who own it, but I would assume that if each of the conferences that is part of the playoff decide to do availability reports, you have to do that for the playoff games, the ones that matter most, and nobody's brought that up yet either.
Yeah, that's a very, very important point. If one team's mandated to do something the other team doesn't have to do, that creates an inequity. Or, it's like having inside information and non-public information. So hopefully they don't set us up for a situation like that. But like you said, that will have to be addressed if a conference has an official policy to release that. And of course, what happens when we have these non-conference games during the regular season? That's going to have to be sorted out too. So it's going to be interesting. But like I said, my thing is as much information that you can get out there that both sides have access to. You may have to know where to go look for it, but as long as it's out there and both sides have access to it, and I'm sure there'll be aggregators and news aggregators out there that will consolidate these reports. But it's just another data point that we'll be able to put in our modeling and get better lines as far as being able to justify it. But what happens in a computer simulation is not always what happens on the field of play.
I know that you guys have had early odds on Arkansas against some of the teams they're playing early in the season. Auburn, A&M.
Right.
I don't know if I'd seen an Oklahoma State line yet. Now I know the first line that we see was what was it, 52.5 against UAPB, and my eyes got really wide. I saw it's 49.5 right now. Has the largeness of this betting line kept any bettors away, or are they still on top of the first game of the year?
Well, no, the money's starting to come in because that line has been as high as 52.5. And it has been low as 47.5 over the past 4 days. So now the money is starting to come in, and I think people were waiting for what was coming, news coming out of press conferences and training camps and things of that nature. I think people are waiting for that, and some people are seeing an opportunity. With the line going down to 47.5, that meant a lot of people were putting more money on Arkansas Pine Bluff and Arkansas not to cover. But then and then over the next day or so, I guess the people with the other opinion say, "Whoa, that line's going down. I'm gonna put some money on Razorback." Whether that's local bias or people, sticking by the original data models when the line came out at 52.5, it could be a little bit of that. But I expect that line to wobble back and forth between 47 and where it is at 50 right now. Many times between now and next Thursday, but that's always typical with the first game of the season. And it's unusual being that Arkansas is playing Arkansas Pine Bluff. Usually this line would not be out until 24 hours in advance, but because it's the first game of the season, we went ahead and put it out there. One is the betting public demands it's out there, and so we rely a little bit more on the geeky math modeling and the hit probability to set these lines. And now that it's out there to be bet, the public is dictating where it goes.
So where does that leave the Oklahoma State game? Are there odds on that yet, or do you wait until UAPB game is over?
Yeah. Now on the major matchups, like notice all the Arkansas games that we had out were all SEC games.
Okay.
And those are hit probabilities just based on math modeling right there. Before we put out cross conference opponents and things like that, we want to see what they do on the field next Thursday before we put the Oklahoma State line out. You don't know if there's going to be injuries. Right now there's just so many unknowns for us, the bookmakers, on how they're going to perform on their first outing. So we like to put our lines out when we have the most information out as much as possible. And that's why you see all of the first, the NFL, you've got all of week one lines already out, and they've been out for some time now. Whereas college, they kind of trickle out based on when the modeling and the simulations are done, and we're comfortable with hanging a line on it and seeing what the betting public does with it.
Hey, Neil, has there been any movement over the last week about the online sweepstakes and raffles, which, of course, got everybody interested in the idea of the 50-50 raffle that Bet Saracen wants to do, but Oaklawn seems to be in the way about this. There been any movement about it over the last 7 days?
I think all of the positioning and the talking is all happening in the background. On the 50-50 raffle, I because I'm on the sports betting side, and the sports betting engine that handles all the bets is a different engine that would handle the games of chance and all of that. What's the same about it is the back end of the system with things like the age verification, verifying your identity, all the account protections, the data protections, passwords, all of the stuff that the back end and the stuff that most of the customers don't see, that we're regulated to have as far as time stamping each transaction, logging all of that, making sure the math models are right. The back end of the system's the same, but the sports book is a completely different thing than casino gambling. So I'm still, with the noise that is out there, I am still very, very confident that this is all going to line up, hopefully in the next scheduled meeting of the Arkansas Racing Commission. But I'm going to leave it to the lawyers and the political pundits to do most of that. I think our position is pretty much clear that when you combine the illegal gambling aspect of it, so if we get legalized that will allow us to do things like the NIL drawing in a perfectly regulated site. So, however it turns out, we're ready for it. And like I said, it sure would be nice to be doing our first drawing next Thursday. We're not going to be able to do it because, we've got to let the dust settle and let the politicians and the racing commissions and all of them come to the conclusion of it. And we are still very highly but cautiously optimistic that this will happen sooner than later, and hopefully before the end of football season. But we'll just have to see on how it plays out. But like I said, there's a high degree of confidence there, and that our position is a good one. And we'll see what it says. I mean, all I can do is gauge the public opinion from what I've seen on the comments. The huge uptick in people signing up for Bet Saracen during the middle of the week when no games are going on. I think the public is having their say into that, and hopefully we can get everybody on the same page and get some enabling rules put into place so we can take the lid off and do what we say we're going to do, just not for the NIL, but to also bring the illegal internet gambling to the daylight and have it regulated, just like our physical casino properties are regulated.
Hey, Neil, last thing, we got a text from Pinto. You remember the last time Arkansas and UAPB played, there was a running clock in the second half. And Pinto wants to know, if that happens, does that affect anybody's bets? Because it's, then the clock is moving and it's a little tougher to cover that kind of a spread.
Yeah, that may have to be, I think that could have been, I'm not quite sure I understand the context on that. We will go by the official game clock, which the clock that is shown in the stadium. Usually whenever they're having a problem with that, they just shut that visible clock off in the stadium, and then the referees are taking care of the time management on all of that. So hopefully we don't encounter anything like that. But again, we will grade everything to the official. The data and the official stats that the university puts out after the game. So we will grade everything there. If for some reason we cannot grade something, we would void the market instead of make it a loss.
What Pitta was getting at was that the moving clock was the clock never stopped in the second half. Incompletions, anything. The clock was always moving, so that was less time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the running clock.
Well,
I call it a moving clock. I should call it a running clock.
Okay, yeah, and because they changed the rules on the clock, and then they made it more like the NFL with the 2-minute warning at the end of the half and all of that. So that is already figured into our modeling. That the way the clock is managed and those rule changes, all of that is factored into our modeling on our pricing, and of course we adjust that as the season goes. There's a lot of prediction that there's going to be a lot more scoring in the games this year because of the iPads and because of the communication in the helmets. And so we're going to look and see, we won't have a huge sample with just the games that we've got Saturday, but Labor Day weekend, we may do some modeling adjustment on totals and over and unders if it has the impact that is predicted with the iPads and the communication on field that we have this year.
Sounds good. Neil, appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. Enjoy the first weekend of football, and we'll visit again on Friday.
All right, looking forward to it. Hope we're talking about a big win, and hopefully I'm not paying out too awfully much money next Thursday night. But if we do, hey, that's just part of doing business when you're in the sports betting business.
It's Neil Atkinson, Bet Saracen. It is Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. We're in the home stretch of the golden hour on halftime. You can join us at 877-377-6963. Back in just a moment.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line Now.
What makes Crabtree RV Center different? First, we are a fourth-generation family-owned business, taking pride in making your family's dreams come true. No corporate mentality here. Second, we've been in business for 74 years, founded in 1950 here in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas area. We are not going anywhere. What does that mean for our customers? A family feel with no corporate hidden fees. The reassurance that we will be here for generations to come, and knowledgeable salespeople who want to pick the right RV for your family to make lifetime memories in. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted car. Call 1-800-294-0222. You'll receive the maximum tax deduction, and we provide fast, free pickup. Call 1-800-294-0222. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Call 1-800-294-0222. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Hey, Todd Richardson for Jam. They have several locations in the Arkansas area, but I specifically want to talk to you about Jam Mart number 10. Great deli. My goodness. Great lunch, great dinner. But have you had the breakfast yet? It's the best in town. And they have that convenient drive-through window. So when you're heading north or south on 540, take exit number 6 for Jam Mart number 10. 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith. Jam, the leading gas station and convenience store in the area.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Football, fantasy drafts, new school supplies. It's my favorite time of year. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Born and raised in the River Valley, I know how crazy traffic can get this time of year. As kids head back to class, remember to use caution at crosswalks and in school zones. But not all accidents can be avoided. If you or your loved one is injured in a car wreck, call today. 479-769-1505. No win, no fee. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come Get You Some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
As a roofer, I don't have time to fail. Homeowners rely on me, so I rely on Beacon. Beacon's unique network of branches work together to get me what I need when I need it. And with the Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips. Now through September 15th, purchase high-quality GAF with Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You always get what you want, and you don't even try. Your friends hate it when it's always going your way, and I'm glad that you got left on your side. You say definitely maybe, I'm saying probably no. You say you sleep really dead, I'm scared of dying in my sleep. I guess that's not a bad way to go.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Well, exciting weekend starting tonight in Hot Springs. The 7th annual Hot Springs Baseball Weekend is tonight and tomorrow in the Spa City. Tonight, a free youth clinic that features Al Roboski, and then 7:30, free screening of the documentary about Yogi Berra called It Ain't Over. And then tomorrow, a whole day full of activities, including a baseball card show, chance to talk with Johnny Bench, Robin Yount, Steve Garvey is in attendance as well. Stories from the batter's box is what his thing is called. That's interesting because I thought Garvey was running for Senate in California, but he's still an old baseball guy at the same time. So should be a lot of fun, and I love how Hot Springs leans into its history with the game of baseball. So looking at these players, these are some, I mean, there's 3 Hall of Famers there, and then one of the greatest nicknames of all time. Johnny Bench, greatest catcher of all time. You know, you can definitely make that case. Robin Yount, a 2-time MVP. Ted Simmons, Hall of Famer. They had some good nicknames, too. Simmons' nickname was Simba for the last name. Yount was one of like a handful of guys that went by the Kid. I guess anybody that makes his major league debut as a teenager is going to be named the Kid. Mm-hmm. And Johnny Bench, I didn't realize this, Bench was nicknamed Little General. Now, I don't know anybody that really called him that because I didn't know about it. But Roboski's nickname, Matt, is an all-timer. The Mad Hungarian.
There you go.
If you get a chance, you should look it up. Just type in Al Roboski, Mad Hungarian, Mound, and then see what kind of video you get. Because this guy would psych himself up so much. I don't know anybody that's ever done it like this before.
Ooh, he's got some facial hair. He's got some chops going.
Well, there's the 1970s mutton chops and the facial hair and the hair that went along with it. And I think, did he like also fire down the rosin bag so that it would like poof all the rosin up in the air? But yeah, Mad Hungarian is a good one. Of course, he's been a broadcaster for the Cardinals for years and years. And I think he's probably been at this Hot Springs baseball weekend, maybe more so than anybody else. I also know Tom Pagnozzi will be in attendance because he and Ted Simmons are going to be doing an hour-long thing called The Art of Cardinals Catching that Roboski is going to be moderating. I know Roboski would have pitched to Simmons, but I don't think to Pagnozzi. I would have liked to get Johnny Bench in on that too. Although he was a Red, I'd like to hear from all three of those guys about what it would be like to catch. So that's cool stuff. And we have a new sport that has been approved, being sponsored by the SEC. The 22nd sport that is sponsored by the SEC is women's rowing. The decision just came in yesterday from the SEC, and only 4 universities in the league even have women's rowing: Alabama, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and Texas. So until the 2 new members joined, this would not have even been a thought. Alabama and Tennessee, I think, we're doing rowing in the Big 12, but now there's rowing in the SEC.
Is there a new sheriff in town? You know, with Alabama losing Saban and Texas coming into the SEC, are they number one? Like, do they pull the most weight in the SEC now?
Now, do you mean weight as an athletic department overall, or for just football?
Well, in football mainly, but athletically, yes, because like what you just brought up, Oklahoma and Texas, they doubled the amount of schools that the SEC was rowing with, and it doesn't even seem like a thing if Texas wasn't in the SEC. So that being said, I mean, are they on the cusp of being the number one? I mean, how long does it take before Texas goes on a 3-year run where they're like Georgia or Alabama or LSU, and they're number one in the SEC?
But I also understand what your point is here. Now, the idea of Texas coming into the SEC is that they have one vote, the same as every other school in the league has one vote, and the thought is that they had a lot more of a controlling interest or decision-making capability or just weight to throw around when they were a Big 12 school. But I think there are more than 22 sports on campus at Texas. It really doesn't look like it, just looking at their website. It's like a little different than, Ohio State. I think there are like 40 sports that Ohio State sponsors. Stanford, about the same amount, if not more. The SEC, just doesn't have a lot of those sports. Here are the sports the SEC sponsors: football, soccer, volleyball, and then men's and women's cross country in the fall, winter, men's and women's basketball, gymnastics, men's and women's swimming and diving, indoor track and field for men and women, equestrian, baseball, men's and women's golf, softball, men's and women's tennis, and then outdoor track and field, men and women. Equestrian stands out too. I think the best equestrian program in the state is at Southern Arkansas. If you're a mule rider, you should be. But you know what? I'd have a tough time thinking that Texas will become the 800-pound gorilla in the SEC the way that they were in the Big 10, or the way that they were in the Big 12, or maybe even in the way like Ohio State and Michigan might be viewed the same way in the Big 10. I mean, there is the going theory here, Matt, that, Alabama controls the SEC in many ways. But, man, I mean, you look, it's been a successful football program more than anything else. And, just a little bit of success here in basketball, a little bit of success there in women's basketball, tiny little bit in baseball. They've been good in softball and some of the other sports, but if they're the most influential program in the entire conference, they're known more specifically just for football. Though I think this year's basketball team may have a little bit more to say about it.
That's what who was their last? I don't know if Aaron was we brought up Alabama, but that seems to be, as far as maybe it was Bob. Alabama's up there, and who they got, they're going to be a force this year in basketball.
But it's also, I mean, these are a lot of the things that we have heard. Texas coming into the SEC, they don't get to just throw their elbows around. They are one of 16 instead of out of 14 schools that used to be in the Big 12 that they reviewed as top of the list and get to create some of their rules or their own television network too, which of course that's gone away. Sterling's given us a call. Let's talk with Sterling here on a Friday afternoon. Hey, Sterling, how are you?
I'm great, guys. I want to touch on that, like y'all talking about who got the biggest stroke in these conferences. But first, I want to talk about Neal. I don't think Neal never got the question was about the gambling on the clock. I don't think he understands that it was a running clock that was stopping only for timeout. It wasn't stopping for anything. I mean, I don't think he understood that. He never really asked the question. And I wondered about that too. And that's the only, and to be honest, that's the only college game I ever seen that done on myself. I ain't saying it hadn't happened to other players. I mean, surely it has, but I've never seen a running clock like that. You know, Arkansas didn't cover that number. They got 45-0. I don't think they scored in the second half. And they didn't cover the number, and probably would have if you had a regular clock. But I would like to know the answer to that question as well. If they decide for a running clock, is it still business as usual, or does that change anything? As for the conference with these teams with stroke, Alabama's the SEC school with the stroke in the meeting rooms, and like the ACC, it's North Carolina that has the stroke. USC was in the back there, and of course Michigan and Ohio State, and Texas and Southwest, and Big 12. I would think that I think they still have some. I wondered that did they come in here equal to Alabama? And I don't know if I'm going to let the Rowan persuade me, but I have wondered did they come in here, or do you think they have the stroke equal to Alabama, Texas, just already?
I just think they're coming. You come into the league as the supposed new kid on the block. I think it's difficult to try to throw that weight around. You can't just show up and the new cool kid starts to make up all the rules. There's pushback. You expect pushback at that point from schools that have been in this league from the very start. So I think, will they try to throw that weight around? Probably. I mean, they already have. Look, they took away A&M's baseball coach even before they were a member of the league, a few weeks before they were officially a member of the league. So, yeah, I mean, they'll probably try, but I think there'll be pushback, and I also don't think that that's the way that this league necessarily is built. Quick break on halftime. We'll come back, wrap things up in just a moment.
Connor, all I'll say is truck yeah.
Up to $10,000 off on the manager specials at Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw. The front row is where it's happening, Troy.
Yes, it is. The manager specials. Y'all wanted it. We brought it.
This video is powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. From the preseason NFL to college kicking off, BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. Think you know your stuff? Try our winner-take-all $300,000 NFL Survivor Pool for the upcoming season. When the game is over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today and use promo code BELIEVE and get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot.
It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill.
So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive into Queen, Arkansas.
Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video.
Fantastic selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty, plus up to $2,000 extra for your trade and no payments for 90 days. They've all got to go, right down to the bare asphalt. Get a great deal on a great car now and help us flip the lot. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Wrath.
Do you want to see the Dallas Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas on November 10th? Can you eat a Monster Burger in 150 seconds to qualify for the football trip of a lifetime? It's the 19th annual football trip of a lifetime brought to you by Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com. Go to hitthatline.com for more details and let's secure your seat at the table. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
And closing up our shop here on Halftime for the week. Don't forget that our programming changes Monday morning. No, halftime doesn't change. Still on from 11 o'clock in the morning until 2. Ruskin and Zach still 2 until 7. But the Chuck and Bo Show, highly anticipated, beginning Monday morning at 6. And then it is the morning rush from 9 until 11. So Monday will be the first day of full daytime local programming on ESPN Arkansas and on hitthatline.com and Hit That Line Now app.
August 23rd, 3 people that were born and gone too soon. River Phoenix was born on August 23rd. Your boy Kobe Bryant, Black Mamba, was born on August 23rd. And then a drummer that everybody knows, well, we should know, Keith Moon was born on August 23rd. What a just a weird birthday right there. 8/23, all of them gone too soon.
No, how old was Kobe at the time of the crash?
Let's see. He would have been 42.
Okay. Keith Moon died at age 32. River Phoenix, 23 years old. Yeah. I mean, it was a long time. I was about to say, feels like a long time ago. It certainly was a long time ago. River Phoenix might have had 2 or 3 Oscar awards by now if he was still around. That's a really sad one. He was Indiana. Now, C movie. Have you seen the Indiana Jones movies?
You know, I haven't really gotten big into those, but there's a first for everything. I feel like they're really, really good movies. I just haven't given a.
Okay, so that's a no. Did you ever see?
Chance.
Did you ever see? I just wonder if you know who River Phoenix is, other than that he's Joaquin Phoenix's brother.
No,
he was probably the best child actor of his time. That is about safe to say. Yeah. Well, I'm excited for you to watch. What was it? Back to School You got back to school as your homework for the weekend, which means you will get this gem near the end of the movie.
To all you graduates, as you go out into the world, my advice to you is, don't go. It's rough out there. Move back with your parents. Let them worry about it.
Now, of course, that's Dangerfield, and it's basically like, it's almost just his stand-up routine throughout the entire movie. But Iron Man is in this movie, too. It was one of the earlier films that Robert Downey Jr. played in, and he was Dangerfield's son's roommate in the movie, and incredibly weird. William Zabka from Karate Kid fame is also the bad kid on the diving team, so that fits. That's good typecasting. And Burt Young, who was Paulie in Rocky, is also in the movie, and he is Dangerfield's bodyguard. So I think you're going to enjoy this one.
Call C Movie the bus driver because he's going to be taking the kids to school.
Back to school.
That's exactly right. And he'll be at the. Are you at the football trip of a lifetime finals tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll be out there.
Are you going to try to compete with these people?
No, I'm just going to watch and help out where I'm needed.
You might be needed to mop the floor.
I might.
Are you okay if that's the request?
No, I wouldn't really be the first to volunteer for any kind of throw up or anything that might happen.
I wasn't going to that. It might just have been spilled mayonnaise. There's many things you have to get mopped up. Well, I hope everybody has a great weekend. When we get to do this again on Monday, it'll officially be game week. I know it's felt like game week for like 3 weeks now. Make sure you download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. If you missed anything today, our talks with Aaron Torres, Bob Holt, Neil Atkinson, and stay tuned for Ruskin and Zach. For Matt Jones, for Christian Johnston, I'm Phil. Thanks for listening today. That's Halftime. Have a great weekend and get up, get out, and get better.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles?